12 years ago, Nolan shocked the world with Inception. To this day, many netizens still believe that Inception only has 3 layers of dreams and the lost mirror. In fact, it is not true. After watching it more than 10 times, I found that there is a 4th dream hidden between these layers of dreams, and this point of view has been clearly pointed out many times in the movie. Below I will sort out the storyline so that you can understand this sci-fi masterpiece in the simplest way, which has been released for 12 years and still has a score of 9.4 on Duban. Leo's profession is a dream stealer. His job is to sneak into other people's dreams to steal business secrets. He and his wife have been studying dreams for many years and even as for creating a world, they stayed in this world for 50 years. Gradually, they could no longer distinguish between dreams and reality. Because he missed his children in reality, Leo planted the idea that he was in a dream deep in his wife's heart. By committing suicide by lying on the railway tracks, they returned to reality. However, at this time, that idea still lingered in his mind. He believed that he and Leo were still in a dream. In order for himself and Leo to return to the real world, on the day of their wedding anniversary, he forged the scene of the murder, notified the lawyer in advance, saying that Leo was going to harm him, and then jumped off the building and committed suicide in front of him. After this incident, Leo became a wanted criminal and began his escape. At the same time, his wife became his nightmare and often appeared in his dreams to destroy his plans. On this day, Leo and his brother were stealing the secrets of Saito, a big boss in the energy industry. His wife also appeared at the scene and captured his brother Arthur. At this moment, Saito already knew that he was in a dream. In order to make Leo reveal the name of his employer, his wife shot directly at his companion. Although it was a dream now, the pain of a person would be real, in order not to let his brother suffer. Leo acted decisively and shot him dead. Arthur, who had woken up, threw Leo directly into the bathtub, because the feeling of falling can also wake people up from dreams. Saito and Leo, who had woken up, were in the same room and were quickly subdued by them. With his life threatened, Saito was also ready to tell his secret. But when he touched the carpet he hated the most, he learned that he was still in a dream. Seeing that the plan had failed, Saito would wake up at any time, so Leo and his companions decisively gave up and began to retreat. When they were about to leave by helicopter, they found that Saito had been waiting for a long time, and it was a traitor in the team who exposed them. Kato admires Leo's dream-stealing ability and hopes he can help him do something. The target is his competitor, a terminally ill old man whose son Fisher is about to inherit his company. All he needs to do is implant the idea of dissolving his father's business empire in his mind. Then Kato can monopolize the entire industry. In return, he will use his own means to remove Leo's wanted criminal status, allowing him to return home and reunite with his children, and the cooperation is reached. In order to complete the task, he is going to form a new team, and his father-in-law introduced him to Alan, a dream builder who is better than him. When they first met, Leo was impressed by his ability. As soon as he entered the dream world, he could fold the space at will according to his wishes, and he could instantly build any building anywhere. However, many details of dream building are not clear. Leo also taught him carefully, telling him that when building a dream, he must not reconstruct the scene in his memory, but must create something new, otherwise he will lose himself in the dream and cannot distinguish between the dream and reality. It is worth noting that 1 minute in reality is equal to the first layer, and 1 hour in the dream is equal to a whole day in the second layer. If you want to wake up from a dream, you must achieve it through death or falling, and the way to distinguish between dreams and reality. A totem is needed. If the gyroscope keeps spinning, it means that you are in a dream, otherwise it means that you are in the real world. Soon, Leo found the remaining personnel. Arthur, the outpost, is responsible for collecting all information about the target person. Eames, the disguiser, can disguise himself as anyone in the dream and provide help to Leo to complete the task. The anesthesiologist, Surf, can prepare the appropriate anesthetic according to the needs to make the dream more lasting and stable. After discussion, they decided to use the dream builder's wild imagination to create an unprecedented 3-layer dream. Because Fisher had a very tense relationship with his father, he had never been recognized by him for many years. In the first dream, they planned to start with the relationship between the father and son. The pretender Eames would transform into Fisher's uncle and hint to Fisher that his father had left him a will. The content of the ritual will was to let Fisher dissolve his father's business empire. Then in the second dream, this consciousness was implanted deep in Fisher's mind and transformed into the idea of starting his own business. Finally, in the third dream, Fisher was asked to find the will himself. He learned that all this was real. The content of the will was his father, who did not want Fisher to follow his old path and wanted him to enjoy his own life. At this time, Fisher's father suddenly passed away, and Fisher was about to return from Los Angeles to attend the funeral and then inherit his father's family business. This dream-stealing operation would take at least 10 hours. In order to ensure that no one would disturb the process, when the plane took off, Leo mixed sleeping pills in water and asked Fisher to drink it, and the dream-stealing officially began. In the first dream, an accident happened just after they met Fisher. A train suddenly appeared in the center of the city, followed by a large number of armed men, shooting at Leo and his men crazily. It turned out that Fisher had been trained to prevent dream theft a long time ago, and these people were his subconscious self-defense. When they fled the scene, they found that Saito was seriously injured, and the others were ready to shoot Saito to wake him up from his sleep. But at this moment, Leo revealed a shocking secret, because this was an unprecedented 3-layer dream. In order to ensure the stability of everyone, the pharmacist injected several times more tranquilizers than usual. If in a dream, the consciousness of death will fall into the lost realm, where it will sink forever. Now the only way out is to continue to complete the task. The pretender at this moment transformed into Fisher's uncle, and through a conversation with Fisher, hinted that his father's will was hidden in the safe. After that, Xiao Lizzie asked the anesthesiologist to stay in the first layer of dreams to ensure that everyone could fall at the same time at the critical moment, and then took everyone to the second layer of dreams. Here, the pretender transformed into a beautiful woman and Xiao Lizzie staged a drama of the thief crying, "Stop thief," and lied that he was his security director. Someone is now stealing his dreams, making full use of the influence of the pharmacist being chased by the subconscious in the first layer of dreams, leading Fisher to begin to doubt that he is not in reality now, but in the dream of the dream thief, and then taking Fisher away, and designing a solution to the second layer of Fisher's subconscious self-defense. In this way, under the step-by-step guidance of Leo, Fisher gradually began to doubt Uncle Peter. When Uncle Peter appeared in front of him, Fisher also completely believed what Leo said. At this time, Uncle Peter was just a reflection of Fisher's subconscious. In order to find out his uncle's purpose and what was written in the will, Fisher asked little Leo to find out. Under Leo's suggestion, they prepared to sneak into their uncle's dream. On this level, the subconscious mind of the Sentinel Arthur was left to resist Fisher's self-defense, which could ensure that everyone could fall at the same time. The rest of the people came to the third level of dreams. On this level, Fisher's subconscious defense was extremely strong. On the other side, on the first level, the pharmacist in the dream was in danger under Fisher's defensive consciousness. If they died, then everyone's consciousness would fall into the lost domain and never wake up. In order to avoid such a thing from happening, the pharmacist played music as agreed with everyone before, giving everyone a hint. Next, he was about to drive into the lake and use the fall to wake everyone up. In other words, there were only 10 seconds left in the first dream and 3 minutes left in the second dream. The outposts tied everyone together with ropes and began to move towards the elevator. The people in the third dream only had 1 hour left. The war between them and Fisher's defense system also triggered an avalanche. They split into 2 groups. The pretenders were used to attract the firepower of the defense system. Leo's long-range sniping covered Fisher's entry from the pipeline. When he was about to open the door of the vault, a figure appeared. This person was Leo's nightmare. He shot Fisher to death on the spot. After that, Leo and everyone rushed to the most critical part of the scene. Tens of millions of netizens believed that it was Leo and the Dream Builder who went to the Lost Zone and rescued Fisher. However, according to the pharmacist who told everyone before, when Saito was seriously injured in the first dream, because the sedative used this time was too strong, he would not wake up in reality after death, but would only fall into the Lost Zone. Leo and the Dream Builder did not die at all, so the place they went to was definitely not the Lost Zone. Then the Dream Builder said, "We just have to follow a Fisher down. No, there will be enough time. We will find him. We can give him his own cake down below." As we all know, falling in the lower dream can return to the upper dream. This line has appeared many times in the movie, so it can be concluded that there must be a fourth dream between the third dream and the Lost Domain. Then Leo and the Dream Builder came to the fourth dream and found Fisher. The Dream Builder and Fisher also fell back to the third layer. If this layer is the Lost Domain, then they must commit suicide to go back, not by falling. This once again proves that this is the fourth dream, not the Lost Domain. Leo found 7. His wife told him the truth that she had implanted the idea in his mind, which led to his suicide in reality. Now he can only be regarded as his wife's phantom. After saying everything, she broke off with him completely. At the same time, Fisher woke up in the third level of dream. He opened the last safe and saw his dying father. He learned that his father had always been very optimistic about him. He saw the will and the windmill in the safe, hoping that he could live a different life from his own. Fisher was also very sad. Seeing that the time was ripe, the pretender immediately detonated the bomb, and the third dream began to fall. At the same time, the second dream also began to fall in the elevator. On the other side, in the first dream, the car driven by the pharmacist also fell into the lake. Everyone woke up, except Xiao Lizzie and Saito. Fisher climbed ashore and told the pretender's uncle that he was ready to dissolve the company in accordance with his father's wishes. He wanted to. He survived until now, and the dream-stealing mission was perfectly completed. At this time, Leo had drowned in the water. Only this time, he came to the real Lost Domain, and then met Saito, who was already in his twilight years. This is the scene at the beginning of the movie. Since Saito had died in the third layer of dreams before, because the timeline between dreams passed quickly, Saito became what he is now. Today, Leo can no longer distinguish between dreams and reality until he saw the spinning top on the table. He knew that he was still in a dream. He helped Saito recall everything and asked him to go back with him. The next moment, Leo and Saito finally woke up on the plane. Saito also fulfilled his promise and called Leo before he got off the plane to help him regain his freedom after years of fleeing. Now, Leo has finally seen his children. The movie is over, and it has been 12 years since the film was released. The topic of whether Leo is in a dream or reality this time has been controversial among netizens. In fact, the answer has long been known. When Leo returned home, he turned the gyroscope again to confirm whether he was still in a dream. From the shaky gyroscope, we can know that Leo is now back to the real world, which can be found after careful observation. Every time Leo appears in the dream, he wears a ring on his hand, but when he returns home this time, it can be clearly seen that he is not wearing a ring on his hand. In the movie, Leo has seen his children many times, but each time he can only see their backs. Only this time, he saw the child's true face, and the child has grown a lot bigger than in his previous memories. After all, Leo has been on the run for several years, and the child must have grown up. According to the above signs, Leo must have returned to the real world, not in a dream. If you still don't understand something, you can leave a message in the comment area and I will answer them one by one. Finally, I wish every friend who likes this post will become rich and thin this year.